Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video I will show you how to create the complete CRUD functionality with mysql phpmyadmin database. Now we'll check the complete output. We'll create new. The first name Steve King sk@gmail.com. Create. Let's check in the database also. I'm browsing the table. See here the Steve record in the employee table. Let's update the Steve record. Edit. I'm editing the Steve email ID sk123. Save. Here the Steve email is updated successfully sk123@gmail.com. Let's check in the database also. Browse. See, the email has been changed sk to sk123@gmail.com. Let's check the details of this employee. Details. Here the Steve details we got. Back to list. And we'll delete this Steve record. Delete. See, the Steve record has been deleted from this employee table. Let's check in the database table also. I'm browsing the table again. See, the Steve record has been successfully deleted from this employee table. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. For this video tutorial, I am creating a new MVC application. Go to File, New Project. I am selecting ASP.NET Web Application and the .NET Framework I am using 4.6.1. The application name is MVC mysql CRUD functionality. Click OK. And from the templates I am selecting MVC4. Click OK. And here the project is successfully created. Let me close this default window. Before start the coding part, first we'll visit the mysql phpmyadmin database. We'll check the table and the column names. I just logged into my SQL phpmyadmin database. Table I'm using the employee table, which contains 4 columns: employee ID, first name, last name and email. Now my aim is I want to implement the CRUD functionality on this employee table. Let's start the coding part. Open Solution Explorer. The first thing in this project, I am adding my SQL phpmyadmin connection string in the web.config file. Open web.config file. In the web.config file, notice the connection strings. Add name is equals to mysql connection is my connection string name, connection string. Data source is equals to localhost semicolon. The second parameter is a port number. Port is equals to find the port number of mysql phpmyadmin. Notice in the server mysql colon 3306. 3306 is a port number. Let's add that port number. 3306 semicolon. The next one is the initial catalog is equals to initial catalog. We have to add the database name. So my database name is a sample DB. Let's add that one. Sample DB semicolon. User ID is equals to root, which is a default user ID, semicolon. Password is equals to, I don't have any password to log into my SQL phpmyadmin database. If you have any password, please enter that password there. And the last one is very important, which is a SSL mode is equals to none. If you don't add this property SSL mode is equals to none in this data source under connection string, at the runtime you will face an error. So make sure add this SSL mode is equals to none. After adding the connection string in the web.config file, switch to the Solution Explorer. Let's create a class in the models folder. Right click the models, add class. The class name I'm giving CRUD prop add, and here we got the class which we have created just now. Now in this class I'm only adding the public properties. Public int, I have 4 columns: employee ID, first name, last name and email. So I am adding 4 properties: empid, get, set, public string, first name, get, set, public string, last name, get, set. And the last one is the email, public string, email, get, set. That's it. After we added the public properties in this class, now let's create a new class for the implementation. Open Solution Explorer, right click the models folder, add class, CRUD implementation, add. Here we got the implement class also. The first thing, I'm adding the namespaces. The first name I'm adding using system.data, using system.configuration. The next namespace I am adding mysql.data DLL library. By default in Visual Studio, the mysql.data DLL library is not added into the project references folder. We have to add manually using NetJet packages. Let's open Solution Explorer, expand the references folder. Notice there is no any mysql.data DLL library. Let's add that library. Right click the references, manage NetJet packages, click that one. Click browse, search for MySQL, enter, and from the search results I'm selecting the first option mysql.data, click that one, and the version I'm installing 8.0.12 install. Click OK. I accept the license, and here we got the message in the output window: successfully installed mysql.data package into our project. And also notice there is a green tick mark here and here, which means the DLL library is added successfully into our project. Let's close this output message box, switch to the implementation code. Now let's add the MySQL data using mysql.data.mysql client. Now I can access the MySQL classes in this project. After that, last one, using my project name is MVC mysql CRUD.models folder. After adding these 4 namespaces, now in the public class, public list class, in this list class I am adding the class name CRUD properties prop get emp is a method name. Let's create the object for this list class. List prop emp list is equals to new list prop. This method returns emp list. Let's add the connection string main con is equals to configuration manager dot connection strings. Between double quotes I am adding my connection string name, which is a MySQL connection dot connection string MySQL connection MySQL con is equals to new MySQL connection, which takes the parameter of this main con. String SQL query is equals to, the SQL query is a select statement. Select start from, the table name is the employee table. Copy this one, paste here. MySQL command SQL com is equals to new MySQL command, which takes two parameters. The first parameter is the command text, which is a SQL query, paste here, and the second object is the connection object, which is a MySQL con, paste here. Let's open the connection string MySQL con dot open method. MySQL data adapter MDA is equals to new MySQL data adapter, which takes the parameter of this SQL command. MySQL command object data table dt is equals to new data table MDA dot fill. I'm filling the data with the data table object. Let's close the connection. MySQL dot close method. Close method. For each data row dr in dt dot rows property emp list dot add method new. I'm adding the CRUD prop class name. This class name emp id is equals to dr dot dr between semi double quotes. The column name is the emp id, the first column name, semicolon. See, here we got the error, cannot implicitly convert type object to int. So convert dot to int32. This one is comma. Emp first name is equals to convert dot to string dr between double quotes first name, the column name, comma, last name is equals to convert dot to string dr between double quotes last name, comma, email is equals to convert dot to string dr email. Let's end with semicolon. That's it. We have written the code to fetch the table, employee table. Now the next one, let's create the controller. Open Solution Explorer. I'm minimizing the references folder. The controllers, right click the controllers folder, add controller. I'm selecting the controller with read-write actions. When I select this read-write actions, it will create the complete CRUD functionality action result methods: create, read, update, delete, and list entities. So I'm selecting this one, click add. The controller name is the EMP, click add. And here we got the controller. Notice the index details, create, edit, delete, all the action result was automatically created. Now the first thing, I'm adding the namespaces using the project name is MVC mysql models folder. After adding the model namespace, now here I'm adding my CRUD implementation class. CI is equals to new CRUD implementation class. Let's clear that model state dot clear method. In the return view, I'm adding CI, the CRUD implementation class object CI dot. Notice the get EMP method is this one, which contains the coding part to display the employee details. Get EMP method. That's it, we have done the coding part in the controller also. Now the last one, we require the view page of this index action result. But before creating the index view page, we must build the solution. Go to build solution, and here we got the message, the project is built succeeded. Let's close this output message box. Highlight the index, right click that one, add view. The view name is the index only, this one only, and the template is a list. The model class is a CRUD prop, this class, add. And here we got the index view page also with the list template. Let's check the results on the browser, but to run this application, the most important, we have to change the controller name in the route.config file. Open Solution Explorer, expand the app_start folder, route.config.cs, open that one. Notice here the controller name is a home, which is a default one. Delete that one. Go to controller, our controller name is the EMP, copy that one and add here. And the action is the action result view page is the index only, this page, index.cshtml. Let's check the output on the browser, Google Chrome. And here we got the output, the EMP table, EMP ID, first name, last name, email from MySQL phpmyadmin database. Now the next part, let's add a new record into this employee table. Switch to the CRUD implementation part. I'm creating a new method, public bool insert EMP. Now in this insert EMP method, I am adding the class, the property class EMP insert. So instead of writing the coding part, I am just copying this part up to here. I am pasting here. The SQL query is the insert statement. Insert into table name is the employee. The column names I want to insert the first name, last name and email, and whereas the EMP ID is the auto generate column, so I am not adding the EMP ID column. First name, last name, email, values, single quotes, double quotes, plus plus. Between this plus plus I am adding emp insert this object name dot the first name comma. Let's copy this paste here dot last name and the final one is the email. Now int I is equals to sql.com dot execute non-query method. If I is greater than equals to 1, return true, which means if the record is inserted successfully, else return false. Let's close the connection string of mysql.con.close method. That's it. We have written the coding part. Now switch to the controller. Notice in the action result create there are two methods. One is the http get and the http post. So this one http get. In the http post, in the create action result, I am deleting this from collection. I am adding the class name CRUD pop emp insert. In the try block, model state dot is valid if the object I am adding the ci dot. Notice the method. Notice the insert method. Insert emp. I am adding this object emp insert. View back dot message is equals to record saved successfully. Model state dot clear method. That's it. We have added the insert emp method in the controller. Now we need the create view page. Highlight the create, right click that one, add view. The view name is a create only, and the template I am selecting create, the model class which is a CRUD prop, this model class, add. And here we got the create view page also with the default. So what I'm doing, I'm just commenting the ID emp ID which I don't require. I'm commenting that part. So let's check the results. Switch to the index.cshtml, Google Chrome. And here we got the output. Let's create a new record. Create new. The first name Sachin Kumar sk@gmail.com. Now before click the create button, let's check my database table also. The last one is a Sandy. So let's insert the record create. See here the newly record created Sachin Kumar sk@gmail.com. Let's check in my database table also. I'm browsing the table again. See, The employee ID is 13 Sachin Kumar and his email is sk@gmail.com. Let's add the functionality to edit the employee details. Switch to the Visual Studio and stop debugging. Let's start the coding part to edit the employee details. Open the implementation class. I'm adding a new method to edit the employee details. The method is a boolean type, public bool edit emp, and in this method I'm adding my CRUD prop class emp edit. Now instead of writing the coding part, I'm just copy this and paste here. Now in this coding part, I'm just deleting the SQL query, which is the insert statement. Now I'm adding the update statement, update employee set. I want to update the employee email ID only. I don't want to change the first name or last name. So I'm adding here email is equals to single quotes plus plus double quotes single quotes where emp id is equals to single quotes double quotes plus plus double quotes single quotes semicolon double quotes double quotes. Now here between the first, now in the email between plus plus emp edit dot, I'm adding email where emp id is equals to emp edit dot emp id. That's it. The only have changed, instead of insert statement I have added the update statement. Now switch to the controller. In the edit part, return view, in the return view I am adding the object name of the CRUD implementation CI class object CI. Copy this one, CI dot. Before updating the records, first I want to get the employee details. For the employee details, I have used the get emp method, this one, dot find method item model dot emp id double equals to id, this object. So once we get the selected id employee details, now the implementation part to update the record in the http post method. In the try block, here instead of form collection I am adding the CRUD pop update emp ci dot edit emp, the method. In this method I am adding update emp object. That's it, we have added the edit emp method in the controller in the action result edit. Now we need the edit view page. Highlight the edit, right click that one, add view. The view name is edit only, and the template I'm selecting the edit, the model class, the CRUD prop, click add. And here we got the view page of the edit with the default edit template. Now before running this application, the most important, in the index.cshtml, open that one, come to the bottom, see here the bottom action link edit. See, this one is the commented. Delete this one, uncomment those ones. id is equals to item.primary key. Instead of primary key, we have the emp id. Now let's check the output. Google Chrome, and here we got the output after adding the edit functionality. Now I want to edit the Sachin Kumar email ID. Edit. I'm changing the Sachin email from SK to Sachin. Save. And notice the Sachin email has been changed from sk@gmail.com to sachin@gmail.com. Let's check in the database also. I'm browsing the table. First, before browse the table, notice the sk@gmail.com. Now I'm browsing the table. See, sachin@gmail.com. Now the next one in the CRUD functionality, I want to get the employee details of the particular employee. Switch to the coding part. I'm stop debugging. To get the employee details of the particular employee, in the details action link, just uncomment these ones. Instead of primary key, I'm adding my emp id. I'm not creating any method. I have already created the get emp method. So in the controller, in the action result edit http get method, the return view, the coding part, just copy this one, add in the action result details. That's it, the coding part in the controller. Now we need the details view page. Highlight the details and right click that one, add view. The view name details, the template, details, the model class, CRUD prop, add. And here we got the details view page also. Let's check the results. Index.cshtml, Google Chrome. And here we got the output after adding the details functionality. Now I want to get the details of the Samantha. Get details. See, the employee ID is 5, the first name Samantha, last name Sam, and email is sams@gmail.com. Back to list, and this time I'm getting the Surya Kiran details. The employee ID is 9, first name Surya, the last name Kiran, sk@gmail.com. Now the last one in the CRUD functionality, which is the delete functionality. Let's switch to the Visual Studio. We'll finish the rest of the code. Stop debugging. Now in the action link delete, I'm adding the emp id. Dot emp id. After that, open the CRUD implementation part. Let's create the new method to delete the employee record. Public will delete emp int id. Now instead of writing the code again, I'm just copying this part I'm deleting the SQL query, the update statement, delete from employee table where emp id is equals to plus id, this variable. That's it, the coding part to delete the employee record. Now we'll create a new action result for the delete action in the controller. Open that one, emp controller, come to the bottom. There is two methods. One is the http get and http post. In the http get, I'm adding the object of the CRUD implementation CI. Copy this one. CI dot delete emp. This is a method name. I'm adding the ID. This one. And the return view, return redirect to action index page. Once the record is successfully deleted, I want to redirect to the index view page. Let's check the results. Index.cshtml, Google Chrome. And here we got the output after adding the delete functionality. I'm deleting the employee record Sachin, delete. The employee Sachin has been deleted successfully. Now we'll check the complete output. We'll create new. The first name, Steve King sk@gmail.com. Create. Let's check in the database also. I'm browsing the table. See here the Steve record in the employee table. Let's update the Steve record. Edit. I'm editing the Steve email ID sk123. Save. Here the Steve email is updated successfully sk123@gmail.com. Let's check in the database also. Browse. See, the email has been changed sk to sk123@gmail.com. Let's check the details of this employee. Details. Here the Steve details we got. Back to list. And we'll delete this Steve record. Delete. See, the Steve record has been deleted from this employee table. Let's check in the database table also. I'm browsing the table again. See, the Steve record has been successfully deleted from this employee table. That's it.